All right. Welcome back, legends. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop a 5 in the chat. I'd appreciate it. Want to make sure you guys can hear me. Nice. All right, love it. Let's drop right into this. We're going to go for 45, 50 minutes or so, maybe more, maybe less. And then whatever we don't do, we will do tomorrow to make sure that you guys have got 3 full hours extra in the VIP. Do you guys get value today from the session so far? Was it fun? Did you enjoy that? Did a lot of what was some of your bingo moments? Let's see. What were some of the bingo moments? I want to see what they were. Triple W, love it. WWW, I like it. Pain identification, the outcome, hook story offer. People liking the www weekly content plan, RVL, hook story offer, 1,000 days, more clarity around the hook story offer, the pain, decision, commitment, stop using hashtags. That's right. 1,000 days, pain points instead of sharing to everyone, just select individuals. Yes, that's right. When you create a piece of content, share it to key people or selected people that you want. Get your microphone ready. Love it. Messages from stories. Yes, send message. That's right. 2 million followers and only 10 sales a month. I need to nurture and convert more. Yes, that's absolutely right. We spoke about that, right, Narelle? Pain is the pitch. Yes. Pain is the pitch. Loved it. Content flow. Amazing. All right. Love it. Good. Good. I like this. Good. You want to be data driven. That's the key, really, to be able to say that, like, hey, that might work for you, but I've posted 1,000 pieces of content in roughly 1,000 days. You know, you might do 2 posts on one day and not, 7 posts in 7 days kind of thing. You might. That's up to you. But I posted 1,000 times and I know exactly what my audience like. Like today, I know if I post a photo of Svetlana with Svetlana and Mia, it blows up. If I post a photo of me on stage and I look cool, and even if the content's good, it doesn't do as well. It's super weird, but I've tested that over the years. Same with content. If the content is more fun, then it does really well. If this content is more serious, it doesn't do as well. So yeah, I've identified a lot of different things over the years, and I continue to identify all the flipping time. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. The first part of today, I wanna just take some questions. So if you guys have got any questions, write them in the chat. We'll do that for 20 minutes or so, and then I'll do some content reviews. So have your links ready. Don't post a link yet because it will go missing and it will clog up the feed. So don't post your link to your content that you want me to review yet. Okay, so Danielle says, how do you keep track? Do you use a spreadsheet? You can do. This is how you track on social media though. Okay, so you've got the post. Okay, and then you can put like the date. Let's go to time, the date. And here's the key, right? Let's say you make a reel. Let's say you go Instagram reel, and you maybe write something like a talking head. Talking head means that you're just talking to the camera. Let's just put talking. And let's say the time is now, let's say it's the 9th of November, and it is 23:04. Now, I already know that it's probably going to do very bad posting at that time. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alarm on my phone that's going to happen 24 hours from now. So I'm just going to go on my phone, onto the clock. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just going to go, right, okay, so let's go, boom. That says 22:15, but I want it to make it 23:05, okay? When that goes, I'm going to go, okay. I open up the phone, I go onto this post, and I want to see how many loves, how many comments, how many views, if that's relevant, how many shares, how many saves. Now, if you don't know how to do that, on Facebook, it will just tell you, right? On Facebook, it kind of just says underneath the post. It doesn't show all the data, but it will show you like the number of likes or loves, comments, views, and shares. It won't tell you saves on Facebook, so you just put a dash. On Instagram, when you go onto the post, let's say this one, you click View Insights, then it says 1.1 thousand loves, 351 comments, 277 shares, and 78 saves. Okay, and then you get more data here. Do I pay attention to this data? Not really. I like to see that I've had 32 followers from this one post. That's kind of cool. Why? Because there's a lot of comments and a lot of shares. Okay, so that's what I'm going to pay attention to. So let's say it was this post. So I go 1.1 thousand. I go 351 views. How many views did it have? 21.2 thousand. Shares was 277, and saves was 78. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do that every single time I post. I post, and then 24 hours after, I'm going to comment. I'm going to track. Could be a piece of paper, could be on Trello, could be an app, could be sticky notes, could be Excel, could be Google Sheets. Whatever your process is, everyone's different. I just like piece of paper and a pen. Okay. Now, if I do it and then obviously line underneath it, then let's say the next day was a Facebook Live, and it was 11 a.m., 10th of November, and then 24 hours later, 3,000 views, 600 comments, 3,000 likes, 600 comments, 100,000 views, 400 shares, and let's say it was a Facebook Live, so there was no saves. I can then start to identify very quickly that, wow, my audience really loves it when I go live, or wow, I did this live about, like, if I do a live about social media, it does really well. If I do a live about network marketing, it doesn't do as well. So I know my audience wants the social media stuff more than the network marketing stuff, for example. Okay, so again, that's how I would track. I would just make the post and just, if you can get into the habit of posting at the same time every day, then what you do is you post, and then before you post the next day, you just go into the previous post, make the numbers, and then post your next post. Or you use the alarm like I do. So I hope that helps. Steve Smith, but I call him Steve-O. When reviewing successful posts, are you reviewing after 24 hours or just at the end of the week? So I would do this after 24 hours. So then let's say I've got 6 pieces of content. 3, 4, 5, 6, right? With the 6th one being at the end. And at the end of the week, I would go, oh, okay, this one is the winner. What did I talk about here? Whatever I talked about, I'm going to do an Instagram reel about that, or a carousel post about that, or a photo about that, or I'll do another live about that, but on Instagram. Because I'm looking for posts that perform well a few times. Because if they perform well a few times, that's going to make part of my messaging, part of my brand, part of my themes that I talk about. I've ran out of tea. No! Nawal, how you doing, Nawal? Says, would you recommend to post on product and business or focus just on one? I would focus on one, and then you can always make this, like, you can either do a weekly focus, a monthly focus, or a quarterly focus. So that would mean if it's a weekly focus, you do 5 days of product, 1 day of business. If it's a monthly focus, you do 3 weeks of product, 1 week of business. If it's a quarterly focus, you do like 10 weeks of product, 2 weeks of business. But it depends on what you want to do. If you want sales, then you would do more about the sales and then less on the team. Obada, when we were talking about Obada in the previous session, Obada did 30 days talking just about the pain, and then did 30 days just talking about the solution. And he crushed it by doing that. And his team did as well. But those people were bought into the business. So they could do 30 days just talking about the pain without giving the solution or giving a call to action to buy the product. Absolutely fine for them to do that because they were bought in, they were solid, they weren't going anywhere. A lot of new people struggle to do that because they want to make sales straight away. They need to make sales straight away. So it's up to you. But have a plan, whether it's weekly, monthly, or quarterly, and then review that plan after you've done it, and then make the relevant changes. Anastasia says, Is it Anastasia or Anastasia? Obviously, my wife's Russian, so I say Anastasia is Anastasia. So I hope I'm saying it right. I have a brand already, but it's related to the business. What can I do? Please help. Amazing. So if the brand is related to the business, go harder on that and just make sure that you find the pains of the business and talk about that a lot more. Okay? It's easier, statistically, 5.2 times easier to get, 5.2 times easier to get product sales and customers using social media than team members. But your lifetime value of a team member could potentially be 100 times more than the lifetime of a customer if that one person goes boom, right? So if you have a brand already, but it's not related to the business, sorry, my bad, I missed that one very important word. So I would go and search for @PerrySean, right? This is Perry Walker's Instagram. It's so funny that I promote her Instagram so much. I'm a raving fan of someone I coached, that's for sure, right? She sells a beauty product and she does not one single post on her feed, I think for 3 years, about beauty products. It doesn't matter what you talk about in the open public feed. It matters what you talk about in the messenger. So if your brand is to do with rockets, then have conversations with people about rockets. And once you have that conversation, ask them. You can pivot to anything you want. You know, hey, I know that we have this relationship and this friendship on rockets, but do you ever keep your options open to making extra money online? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, let me prove this point to you guys. How many of you have gone to dinner with a friend, lunch with a friend, coffee with a friend, gone for a drink with a family member, and you start talking about one thing, and 15 minutes in, you're talking about something completely different? So you're talking about the football. Oh, big game coming up, super excited for it. And then the next thing you're talking about Formula One. The next thing you're talking about the shoes that you're wearing for a dinner that you're going to later that day. And then the next thing you're talking about women. And the next thing you're talking about fashion. And the next thing you're talking about tortellini. And the next thing you're talking about is soft play places for kids. And you're like, how have we gone from talking about Formula One to soft play places? It doesn't matter. As long as you like the person you're talking to, it doesn't matter. All right? So go deep on the brand that you're talking about and just look to transition the conversations you're having into the business or the product. Good. I see you on my screen, so hello. All right, Pavan says, is going live once a week enough? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been told to go live twice a day. I'm currently in the phase of needing more sales before growing a team. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Okay, here's what I recommend. If you are new to lives and you don't do live, you're not going to like me for this. If you're new to lives, go live every day for 30 days. Oh, no! Go live every day for 30 days to build the confidence, to build the muscle. Nothing else, just to build the muscle. I was speaking to my dad the other week when I was back in the UK, and my dad was saying, what happened to you? I was like, what? He said, when you were in the field, you were good on stage, but now you're like another level. Like, what happened? And my dad saying that is his way of saying, I'm proud of you, by the way. Like, that's my dad's like style. He would never go like, Fraser, I'm proud of you. He would just tell me in a way that is like a lesson. And I was like, you know what, Dad? And I thought about it for a while. Social media. Turning up and going live every week for 3 years in a row gave me so much feedback on what people enjoy, whether they're like laughing or they're commenting or they're going, this is hilarious, that when I did it in a room, I knew people would laugh because people were laughing online. And he was like, that makes a lot of sense. So you do it for 30 days to gain the confidence, but also to gain some sort of feedback from what your audience likes. And then after that, once a week is enough. But once a week is enough just to keep things going. However, what I would say is if you are out, like imagine this, right? Okay, let me show this on my phone, because I think it's an important thing to note. So let's say this, I'm on Instagram, let's just say, and again, I'm using Instagram because you can transfer everything from Instagram to Facebook very easily if it's all connected through the settings. Just go into settings and set that up, right? But imagine that I go and I'm going for a walk, and I see a sunset and I'm like, whoa, that's such a cool sunset. So I go on story, and then imagine my face is a sunset. I'm like, wow, look at that amazing sunset. That is so cool, isn't it? That is one of the best sunsets I've ever seen. Wow. That's now awkward, right? And then I press done and I send it, and it's on there for 24 hours. What if instead of doing that, I was going for a walk and I just hit the live button and I just press go live? And I went live for 5 minutes whilst I was on my walk. I was walking the dog anyway. It's just me and the dog. So why not hit the go live button? Because this is the reality of the situation, guys. When you go on Instagram, you will find that the people that you engage with the most will appear at the front of the horizontal feed. So the closer to the left they are, the better. That's where you want to appear. The hack to get there is go live. Because when you go live, it doesn't show that, it won't show that like, oh, Aidan O'Brien is live. Right? If Aidan O'Brien was live, it would go right to the front in between my face and Sandro's face. So you can go live 5 times a day if you want. Instead of like being aggressive on your stories, be aggressive. Instead of being aggressive on your stories, be aggressive on the lives. And whilst you're walking the dog, talk, like, have a pinned comment saying like, if you want my product, comment product. Right? And then start talking about the product as you're walking on the live. So yeah, live every day for 30 days to get the confidence. Once a week to kind of do your own like show and that your own commitment to going live, and then go live in between as much as you want if you've got something to share and you want to kind of show your personality. Maybe it's a part of the thing. Every time you go on a dog walk, you go live. Every time you read a book, you go live, sharing what you learned that day. Chamdan says, Mr. Fraser. You can just call me Fraser. Mr. Fraser just sounds so formal. Just Fraser's fine. Or sir. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a sir. Mr. Fraser, should we use www for product-related posts or business-related posts, or can it be a mix? Anything you want. Why the product? Why you use it? Why your friend told you about it? Why you're telling other people about the product? Why you use social media to talk about the product? Or why the business is the best ever? Why network marketing is amazing? Why you said yes to when your friend asked you? Why everyone should join the business? Why you're posting content about the business? It's just very general. The why, the what, the who. What are the benefits of the product? What are the benefits of the business? What are the benefits of network marketing? What are the benefits of the acai berry? Okay. Lindsay says, I post reels and they get good views, but my following isn't growing even though I have a call to action. Then, again, when it comes to the growth, where were we with the growth, the 3 phases? It's the first time I've ever trained on that, by the way. I don't think I've ever actually told people like to identify where you're at. But if you're here, this is where it sounds like you are. I post reels and they get good views, but my following isn't growing. Okay. So you're here. So the key with this is to then focus really heavily on the pain is the pitch. Like, focus on the who you want to help and what their pains are. And at least for the next 90 days, every video that you post or everything that you make needs to be focused around the pain of the outcome of the who. The who, the outcome, the pain, right? The call to action won't necessarily grow the following, but when the pain is the hook or the pain is the pitch, that's what will grow the following. Okay? And obviously optimizing your bio as well. Zaida says, you said post on one platform. What about sharing between Instagram and Facebook as they're linked? Yes, If they're linked, absolutely. But my idea here is that you don't have to open Facebook and then open Instagram and then open TikTok and then open YouTube. Just focus all your energy and all your efforts on one platform. If it means that you post on Metricool, it's a software that we use where we post onto Metricool and it posts onto all the platforms, then absolutely great. But in the Messenger, what's the one messenger that you spend all your time with or all your time in? Because if you're not, here's what I would love, and it's a shame that you can't separate the Instagram Messenger from Instagram itself, but on Facebook you can. So this phone, by the way, is a secondary phone. I don't really use this phone, but this, if you have an iPhone, you're a legend. If you have an Android, you're not. Just kidding. I love you all, right? But if you have an iPhone, I can show you how you do this. But if you go into settings, and then you go screen time, for a phone that I don't use, that is a lot. It's probably because it's, probably used for something else. But daily average is 3 hours and 12 minutes. I have absolutely no idea how that's possible. But anyway, so if I click on see all app and website activity, it will show me WhatsApp, Instagram, messages, blah, 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 blah. Now, Facebook and the Facebook Messenger, if you're using Facebook as your one platform and Facebook is used more than the Messenger, you have a problem. Because the money is made in the Messenger, you need to be spending more time in the Messenger. If you're spending more screen time in the Facebook Messenger than Facebook, congratulations, you will move your business forward. But if you're spending more time on Facebook than the Messenger, you are a content creator and you're consuming content, which means you won't move your business forward because the money's made in the Messenger. Now, Instagram, you can't track that, but I want you to just imagine how much time are you spending in the Messenger versus the newsfeed. So important, guys. So important. Heidi says, I am still not clear. Should I continue using my account, which I have already since 10 years, but different postings, or should I start all over? Should I start all over? No, just use the post. What I would do, if anyone is considering pivoting or making a change, then just post a blank screen, like a white screen, a black screen, like just a block of color, and just in the comments saying, today I've made a huge decision. Tomorrow my Instagram will never be the same again. Or Facebook. Just so the world know there's a big change coming, but mainly so you can scroll back and you can find that big block color of pink and you go, that is when I made a change. And this is what's happened since. The rest of the world won't care, but at least it gives you some sort of feedback there. Audrey says, you said one platform, one offer. If I aim to build a team and my content is business orientated, that means I can't speak about the product offer or only on stories like Perry. So, Audrey, when I say one offer, let me kind of explain, because I didn't explain myself very much on that, which would have caused some confusion. I mainly mean like one company. Because I know it's kind of obvious for a lot of people, but a lot of people in network marketing do multiple companies. So if you're using just Facebook and you're trying to promote a travel company, a health and wellness company, and a finance company, you're just not going to get to the $1 million. I'm not saying that you want to get to $1 million, but it's just kind of like a general thing. So it's only use Instagram for the company that you're in, whether it's business, product, or both, and then do it long term to get the $1 million. So you can talk about business and the product, absolutely. A lot of people, when you talk about the business, you have to talk about the product so that people actually know the product that you actually promote. Otherwise, they think you're selling air. So I hope that helps. Can we miss RVL, rest, and then... Yeah, you could do RVL, rest, and then www, rest, RVL, rest, www, rest. You could do. It's very hard for me to tell you. Let me tell you this story, actually. Has anyone ever heard of Stephen Bartlett? He's a UK entrepreneur. He's on Dragon's Den. He runs the podcast called Diary of a CEO. I'm not a big fan because maybe I can't tell the story, but I'm not a huge fan because of some things that he did with the network marketing industry. When we're in person one time, I'll tell you the full story. But seems like a nice guy, providing a lot of value to the world. I just don't think he likes network marketing, which means I don't like him. But hey, I've got to have that conversation with him one day when that happens to prove him, like, to show him wrong. But anyway, I have a friend. He was from the same village as me, and he has the biggest, like, pre-loved or pre-owned luxury goods item company on social media. So, like, if you had a Chanel handbag, he buys it from you for a good price and then sells it and makes a bit. And Stephen Bartlett invested in him and his business. And he was like, what is the best content for me to post? And Stephen Bartlett turned around and says, I have no idea. And he was like, and my friend was like, huh? Really? You have no idea, but like, huh? And he said, I have no clue. And no one really knows. And I say that I agree with him, because I say the same thing to a lot of people. You don't truly know what's going to work until you do it long enough to be able to say, this is what works for me. This is what works for me because I did it for 300 days, 200 days, 80 days, and I established that every time I do this type of content, it bombs, it absolutely crushes it, we smash it, and then every time I do this, this, and this, it doesn't do as well. So no one's really going to know until you do it. Just, again, don't make your own version of the framework up until you've made $1 million. Remember, make 1 million my way, and then you can make 1 million your way. When you're starting from scratch, hey Catherine, when you're starting from scratch, do you focus on building the LKT, I guess the know, like, trust, on just your profile before focusing on groups, etc.? And would you use Reels and Stories to do this, or a mixture of posts and stories? I would use one platform, and I would use every different type of post when you're starting out. I'd go beast mode. I'd be posting, if it's Facebook, I'd be posting on, I'm doing Facebook Lives, Facebook Stories, Facebook posts, post into groups. I would do everything. I would just establish, who do I want to help? What's my outcome, sales, team, or brand? And then what are the pains of those people? I'd go big. I'd go hard on those people, on the pains, on the different types of content. Why do upliners keep pushing us to use polls, etc.? Because they have no clue. They don't know. They don't have the data that I've got, right? They don't have the connections that I have. They don't. Polls are fine, but instead of asking people to complete a poll and then messaging them going, thank you, like, this is weird. Just ask them, like, hey guys, I'm doing a poll, like, real quick. Do you prefer to read or listen? Like, if I did it here, you would go read, listen. So you just, hey, let me know in that message thing. And anyone who sends you a message, do you really care when you do a poll if it was 82% read and 18% listen? No one really cares, do they? Like, it doesn't matter. But if you get 82 people message you saying read and 18 people message you saying listen, there is now 100 conversations that you can have. So, yeah, I don't see the point. Using stickers is complicating it. It's trying to create hacks instead of focus on habits. Habits. Who do I want to help? What's my outcome? What are their pains? Pain is the pitch. Pain is the pitch. Pain is the pitch. Create content to have conversations because the money is in the messenger. That is the overall system that we need to push here. What are the best times to post? Track it, because I can't tell you. It's different for everyone. And anyone who tells you what the best times are, they aren't telling you the truth, or they're believing that what they're saying is right when it's not, because everyone is different. What I can say is that Sunday night till Thursday night is usually better than posting on a Friday and a Saturday. People are on their phones on the Sunday evenings, Monday evenings, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings. If you can do a vulnerability post on like a Monday, Tuesday, usually very, very good. Lives, Tuesday, Wednesdays, really good. People are usually busy on a Monday, right? But also people are not happy on a Monday. Sunday evening, people will get that sick feeling of, no, I've got 5 days of work without a rest. No, right? So there's different things that you can take care of. Right. So I've answered a lot of questions there, and I know a lot of them are very similar. So if you have a link to content that you would like me to review, I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes reviewing as much content as I can until or unless it gets repetitive. Whoops. And then we've kind of discovered the point. Okay.